You do not need a perfect plan. You just need to start right now. Look, there's a great quote by the author James Clear. You probably heard of him, best-selling author of Atomic Habits. I've quoted him several times on this channel. And in that book, he says, motion feels like progress, but action is what actually gets things done. Look, it's a trap. Most people fall into it. They start researching, they do some prepping, they wait for the right time. And months will pass without them ever even starting. What's up, YouTube? My name is Jacob. I own a full-time online reselling business where I primarily sell used apparel on sites like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. It's a multi-six-figure business. I've been documenting the growth here on this channel. And it's kind of a rainy day out, so I thought I would come at you with some motivation today. Because look, today I want to talk to you directly, especially if you have been thinking about starting a reselling business in 2025, okay? Because this is your year, but only if you stop overthinking and start doing. For whatever reason, us as human beings, we just tend to procrastinate and wait. Why do we wait? Well, most people don't start, I think, because they're afraid. Not of failure even, but I think they're afraid of imperfection. Look, I've been there. I've been that person, people worried that they don't, know enough, or that they'll make mistakes, that they'll look stupid, that they'll feel like they let people down, family, friends. They'll just don't look up to how people perceive them. But here's the truth. You will make mistakes. And you'll look back and you'll be, wow, I probably looked pretty stupid doing what I was doing. You'll look back, you'll cringe. I used to look back at some of my old listings and I just cringe looking. I still have some things for sale today that I cringe at what I did to list that item and all that stuff. But look, that's a good thing. If you are not embarrassed of the first version of your product, then you've probably launched too late. That's a famous saying by Reid Hoffman. He's the LinkedIn founder. And it's super profound, and it's very, very true. It applies to reselling as well. It definitely has applied to my business. Your first listings, especially if you're selling on eBay or Poshmark, they're not going to be perfect. Your photos might be dark or blurry. Your descriptions might be short. But look, you'll learn and you'll get better as you continue. Okay, you can't skip the learning curve, but you can start the climb today. Okay, look, everything is going to have a learning curve. It's the necessary truth about how we move forward in this world. When you start, there's also a massive compound effect. Okay, let's take for instance like my business, like a reselling business where you sell stuff on eBay or Poshmark. Let's say you list 3 items for sale a day. Okay, and that's your goal. That's 90 items per month. Okay, like let's say you even average a profit of $10 an item. That's an extra that's an extra $900, almost $1,000 a month in extra income. That's groceries. That's could be credit card payments. That could be seed money for more inventory or another business venture. $1,000 goes a long way, all off of 3 listings per day, and it just starts with day 1. Okay, the real magic is compounding. Warren Buffett, famous investor, lives off compound interest and momentum. You learn how to photograph faster. You learn which items sell. You build an instinct for pricing and keywords. That's all compounded knowledge that you learn just from getting in the habit of listing items. So start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can in the moment. And it can be extremely practical. You don't need, I'm filming under a ring light, right? You don't need a ring light. You don't need a mannequin. You don't need fancy, shipping supplies. Look, start by laying clothes on the floor. Get good natural lighting on a nice day and just use your phone. Cell phone cameras are amazing nowadays. Really all that matters is you get into the habit. You get into the habit of starting and continuing, and you get items listed. That is literally the key to starting a reselling business. And honestly, it all starts with a mindset shift. Because look, we live in a world obsessed with the outcomes, okay? We want the followers, we want the big revenue numbers, we want likes, we want sales, and I'm guilty of all those as well. I'm not above anybody in this world. But look, if you focus on the systems instead of the outcomes, you will win in the long term. Again, from James Clear, Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. I've quoted that so many times on this channel, I feel like, especially lately, because it is so true. And I'm going to keep on quoting that. So look, don't think I want to make $100,000 reselling this year. Reframe your mind, mindset shift. Instead think, you know what? I'm going to list 5 items every single day without fail. That is a better mindset because you are building a system, you are building a habit, and the success will follow the habit and the system, okay? The truth is, reselling isn't complicated, okay? It's repetitive. But if you can show up day in, day out, chop wood, carry water, the same way someone would train in the gym or write in a journal, you will build something real. And in a year, you will literally look back and barely recognize your old business, your old self, okay? It's literally the power of compounding. It's the power of systems, the power of habit, and the power of momentum. And you can change your life with those things. Unbelievable. Look, if you're watching this, if you've been, thinking about maybe starting a reselling business in 2025, then, this might be your sign, okay? If you were like me and you had a closet full of clothes that you never wear, look, just start with those. If you haven't worn something in 6 months, maybe think about putting it for sale on eBay or on Poshmark. If you've been watching YouTube videos and taking notes, it's I appreciate you watching this video, but it's time to start to stop consuming and start executing. Take action. Pablo Picasso, obviously famed artist, action is the foundational key to success. An amazing quote by Pablo Picasso. And look, you don't need a mentor. You don't need a business plan. You don't need, to go out and buy 100 items to, start your inventory. Look, you got a phone. I'm assuming that might be what you're watching this video on. You find a little free time and you get the courage to, maybe suck at something new and do it for a little while. And you know what? It'll pay off dividends big time in the long run, and it can change your life. So here's my call to action. Here's the favor I want from you guys out there. Here's what I want you to do. Today, right after you see this video, not tomorrow, take 5 items from your house. It can be clothes, it can be antiquities, it can be anything. Take 5 items. Take photos of those items, type up brief description of those items. List them. Put them on Poshmark. Put them on eBay. Put them on Macari, pick one. Put them on Facebook, buy and sell, Craigslist. It doesn't matter, okay? You will feel the momentum kick in. That little spark, that progress, you will feel that. It's a tangible feeling. And if you keep that flame, alive every day, list a little every day, by the next year, you could have a, life-changing business. You might even have a 6-figure reselling business, or at the very least, just extra steady stream of extra income, that you can control, So just look, the ethos of today's video is to stop overthinking, stop researching, and just start, okay? Look, my name's Jacob. Thanks for making it to the end of today's video. I hope I motivated you a little bit to take action in your life. I appreciate you. If you found some value one way or another in this video, all I ask is you hit that like, the subscribe. It's all I ask. I'm here to earn my place on YouTube the hard way or the right way, and that's by providing value to you. So if you didn't find value, then I don't deserve those things, and that's okay. So I'll leave you with this. Look. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, okay? So leave it with that. In the meantime, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys again. Peace.